Hi everyone, I'm Apollonia Puente, your dating and relationship coach. In this video, we are going to talk about, are you moving too fast? Well, typically in this day and age, a lot of relationships move very fast, but it's important to understand as a man, you can really set the pace of this relationship. And because as women, we look for men that are leaders. We like men that take control. And it's so important that you find the tone, I would call it, of how you should progress in relationships. So if you're questioning if we're moving too fast, I want to give you some tips that you might be moving too fast, and then how at the end, how to slow down. So tip number one of are you moving too fast is you are already saying I love you, and it's only been a month in. All right. I'm not saying, and I'm not against love at first sight, I'm not saying that it's bad to say I love you, but what I am saying is there's a lot of times when someone jumps into love, they're not jumping into the actual I'm in love. They're jumping into the fantasy story of what they think they need, of what they think this is reality. But the whole idea of a relationship and healthy relationships is to progress into two people and into one relationship. And how you do that is by time, by understanding someone. There's no way that you can truly know anyone in 30 days, even if you spend 24/7 with them. There's no way. This takes time. It takes years sometimes to understand people. And this is why pacing yourself is so important in relationships. So you're moving too fast if you're saying I love you in the first month or two. It's too much. Tip number two is within a week, your boyfriend, girlfriend. Okay. So this is for healthy, sustainable relationships, because I remember when I was in my 20s or in my teen years, 19 or 18, I used to have a boyfriend in like the first week. We used to page each other at 143 and all these things. Shows my age. Do you guys remember pagers back then? But anyways, so, things like this. What I'm talking about is when you develop into 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and within the first week you get into a relationship. This is not the pace of a natural building relationship. I'm not saying that you can't devote your time to this person and really figure out to get to know them. I think that's what you should do. But I concur with just jumping into a relationship within the first 4 days, 5, 6, 7 days. This takes time. Maybe it can take a month. I think a month is a great period of time to really really see if you guys want to be each other in the short term. If you're thinking like, I really do want to be with her and that we have so many similarities, then give it the short time of maybe a month and get to know each other. But typically within a couple of months, people start to get in relationships because they see the value in each other and they get to know each other a lot and they keep communicating. Tip number three is if we're moving too fast is if you're texting all day long and calling all day long. Now, for true relationships, you should be picking up the phone and calling because text gets so misconstrued and things can get so misconstrued in text. That's why I always say, make sure your texts mean business. Asking her out on a date, setting a time, pick up the phone and do this. If she's not available to pick up the phone, then set the date through text, whatever you have to do. But text is not for communicating. Like, oh, so what do you think of this? So what are your values? What are this? No, those are face-to-face conversations. Those are phone conversations. So don't become a text buddy and don't overly text all day, call all day, because this means that you're moving too fast. And also you're losing your identity in the time being. Tip number four is you're introducing them to your mother, your father, your family, your close family members within like the first week. Now, I'm not saying you can't invite them to a party and your cousin's going to be there because I've heard of that, but you're introducing them not like as a friend, you're introducing them as your girlfriend. And this is something that you do often possibly, and your family is just like, oh, this is probably just another girl. I've seen these things happen. And if you are someone that enjoys your family, loves to spend time with your family, then slow your roll when it comes to introducing new women to your family, because this sets the tone also because of the fact that you could be jumping into stuff very fast and it could actually end up scaring this woman away also. But I mean, I'm going to be clear here. I'm not saying like not to chase and go after your heart, but be clear in what it is that you're doing. Be clear in what it is that you want. And if you're moving too fast, this alludes into my last tip is having sex too early on. All right, men. And this goes for women too. I value and appreciate a relationship that can wait for sex because of the fact that you understand that person without any distractions in the way. Because once sex is incorporated in a relationship, sometimes it can get difficult, sometimes it can be a little bit confusing, and also too, you can set the tone, you can lead the way. So the more you pace yourself and hold out on sex, the easier it is to understand who's in front of you and this woman that is in front of you, to know that you're dating the right person and not having these hot and cold relationships, and these relationships that start off hot and heavy and so good, and then next month they're nowhere to be found. They're ghosts, they're non-existent. These are the tips that I'm telling you to follow, because if you don't do these tips, this is possibly happening to you. So if you are moving too fast in your relationship, I encourage you to follow these tips. I welcome your comments below, your comments, questions, concerns, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'll see you again in the next video, and thanks for watching. Remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.